Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Sarah, and today I'm going to be doing my 36-week pregnancy update. I'm actually going to be 36 weeks tomorrow, probably when this video goes up. So I'm just going to be updating you on everything that's happened in the last week, which I would have assumed would have been a lot. I feel like a lot is happening every week, but actually in the last week, not anything too crazy has happened. So let's jump on into it. So this week I had a doctor's appointment on Monday and on Thursday. Today is Friday. So both the doctor's appointments, I had an NST, a non-stress test on the baby, and I did blood work both times, which typically they'll only do blood work once a week for someone in my situation, but I asked for blood work again yesterday just because I'm getting close to that 37-week mark, and I just was a little bit nervous about going a full week without any more blood work. So they said that they would do that for me. So getting the blood work done both times, my numbers seem pretty stable. They are pretty consistent. My platelets, which is one of the bigger concerns if you have preeclampsia that could potentially turn into HELLP syndrome, platelets dropping is a really big concern, and my platelets have been staying pretty consistent. I think last week they might have been around 150. They dropped at one point during my pregnancy to like 125, and that was concerning, but then for some reason they went right back up to around 150. They've been about there 145, 150 since then, so that's pretty stable. They also check your white blood cell, your red blood cell count. That all looks pretty good. It's within range. And then they check your liver enzymes. That all looks good. So in terms of anything that would suggest I am developing HELLP syndrome, nothing looks alarming. All my numbers look pretty consistent every single time I get blood work. So that is really good news. In terms of blood pressure, which is obviously the other big concern when you have preeclampsia, that has been going up slightly, but it's not to a point where it's alarming yet. I think it needs to be like 160 over 100 for them to consider me with severe preeclampsia and for them to do anything differently. So right now I'm staying between like 140 or 150 over 90. Those are pretty consistently my numbers. And so it's high, but it's not that like alarming range, but it does seem like it's slowly creeping up each week. So we'll see if I can kind of keep it stable all of next week or not. So the other piece of the puzzle is the protein in your urine, but because I've already been diagnosed with preeclampsia, then they know it's high and it's going to stay high, and that's pretty much all there is to that. I don't think there's like a point where it would get so high that it would cause any problems, because they're not really checking it anymore. They just know it's high. They know I have preeclampsia, so that's kind of the end of that. So really it's just blood pressure and then my blood work that could be alarming and could cause something to happen that we would need to have the baby before 37 weeks. So as of now, we have a scheduled C-section for 37 weeks and 2 days, which is September 9th. So as of now, it's Friday, so we have a little over a week until that date. So I'm going to have 2 doctor's appointments next week, probably Tuesday and Friday. And if those go okay, then we're just going to keep going right on through to Monday and go to the scheduled C-section. I've never had a scheduled C-section. I don't really know how it's going to be different, because last time, I wouldn't say it was an emergency last time, but it was like they came in the room and they decided they wanted to do a C-section, and like an hour later they took me in. So I had a little bit of time and it wasn't rushed at all, but it was definitely not like I could sit at home and like prepare and like let everyone know it was happening. It was just like that day we decided, and then that's what happened. So it'll be interesting this time having like a scheduled time where I know I'm going in exactly at this time on this day, and I know the doctor that's going to be there. I know the lactation consultant. It's just all like so planned out. It's interesting. If you hear screaming, it's because my son is downstairs playing with my husband, and no matter what you do when he's awake, you're going to hear him because he is a loud kid. So I apologize if you hear him in the background, but I think that is pretty much everything to update you in terms of like the preeclampsia side of things. My non-stress tests are always good. I mean, she kicks like crazy, so they really don't have any problems getting a certain amount of movement in that time frame. So she always passes those with flying colors. Her heart rate is so consistent. It's like 140, and then it'll jump to like 170 when she kicks, and then right back down to 140, and it's always just like beautiful. So that is really good to see and to feel. And I don't know, with my last ultrasound, I feel like she's going to be a lot bigger than we think. I think typically if you have a baby at 37 weeks, they might be like 6.5 pounds, somewhere around there. But I have a feeling she might be closer to like 7 or 7.5 when she comes out. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting because I have no idea, like, should I bring preemie clothes, newborn clothes? I'm kind of bringing a little bit of everything. It's because I did buy a few preemie items because I just felt like that's kind of the route we were going, and I was like, I need to have just a couple nice pieces that I like that she could actually fit into for the first couple weeks, because actually with my son, he was born at 36 weeks and he could have fit preemie for like 3 or 4 weeks. He was just really small, so it would have been nice to have a couple pieces that he wasn't like falling out of. So we'll see. It'll be very interesting to see how big she is. But in terms of me, I guess I could start with weight gain. In the last week, it's been kind of a roller coaster. I actually lost about 5 pounds total from like staying in the hospital for 24 hours. I feel like that, like I talked about it last time, it like kickstarted my body to like get rid of a lot of the swelling, because I was just laying there just like de-stressing and just like with my feet up the whole time. And so I lost a bunch of swelling. I lost like 5 pounds, and then I'm starting to slowly gain it back. So I think right now I'm at about 17 pounds gained. I was at like 20, then I dropped to 15. Now I'm at about 17. So I feel like that's a good place for me to be. I know that she is probably gaining about 0.5 pound a week. So I really should be gaining a little bit of weight each week. So I think I'm starting to get a little bit of that swelling back because I'm home now and I'm taking care of my toddler, and it's just hard to rest as much as I probably should be. So I think the swelling's gonna probably start coming back on a little bit, but it's definitely not extreme swelling. It is not anywhere as bad as it was with my son. At any point in this pregnancy, it has not been that bad. My hands feel swollen when I wake up, but by the end of the day, they feel a lot better. My face still is swelling a lot when I wake up, but then that starts to look a little bit better as the day goes on. And my ankles and my feet, I think it's mostly when I'm like sitting like at a desk, like in a chair. I feel like that's really bad circulation for your feet, and so that's when my feet tend to swell a lot. Even when I'm standing, I feel like it's not as bad, but when I'm sitting at a desk like doing my makeup, or I went to a breastfeeding class actually a few nights ago that was really helpful actually, and I had to sit there for 2 hours and listen to this class, and so that was pretty hard on my feet. But since I brought that up, that class was so helpful, and this is my second baby, so you would think that I wouldn't need to go to a breastfeeding class, but because I had so many problems with my son, I just wanted to have like all of the information fresh in my mind to try to make this as successful as possible with my daughter. So if you're in a similar situation where you've struggled, if you can find a breastfeeding class, because they just talk through like every position you could hold the baby in. They talk about what a good latch and a bad latch looks like, just different ways to know if things are going well or not, when you should call a lactation consultant, how much your baby should be getting, how many feedings per day is normal, just things that are just good to have like fresh in your mind when you have a baby. Because yeah, I think I knew most of that, but one, it just did not go well, and so clearly I did not know as much as I needed to, and two, it wasn't fresh in my mind. So if I just like had the baby today, there'd be a lot of things that I would kind of fumble through, I think. So it's nice to just like have that refresher. So that was really awesome. So in terms of like pain and just like typical pregnancy issues, I'm definitely feeling really big, but I don't think I feel much bigger than I have the past few weeks. It's definitely difficult to sleep, but I'm doing it. I mean, I have a pillow between my knees, a pillow that I like hold in between my hands. And so I don't have like a typical pregnancy pillow, but that's just what I've been using, like 2 extra pillows to get comfortable. That seems to be working, but getting up to go to the bathroom like probably 5 times a night and just having little aches and pains definitely wakes you up a lot throughout the night. So it's hard to get good like long stretches of sleep, but I think that's pretty typical, and it's not like so bad that I'm just like unable to function, although I am very tired. I don't remember being this tired with my son, but then I have a toddler now, so I can't just like hang out and like sit on the couch and like take a breather for a few hours. Like when he takes a nap, there's usually a few things I need to do. I make myself lunch, I clean up a few things, and then I try to sit on the couch, but it's not like I'm getting a lot of like solid rest. It's helping him with things and trying to make sure he's not like hurting himself. So I'm definitely getting really tired, and I just don't remember that last time, but I think that is normal too. So I think that's pretty much it for being now 36 weeks. I think I counted like 9 days until the scheduled C-section. So I will keep you updated, and definitely check out my Instagram if you want just the most up-to-date just updates on what's going on with me and how I'm feeling, and if anything changes last minute, definitely just follow me over there. I do a lot of like Insta stories with updates, just trying to keep everyone informed and kind of share my experiences. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you have not subscribed or hit the bell button, please do that if you are interested in following along on my journey, and then also just hearing about how the C-section goes for me, my postpartum recovery, having a newborn, all of those fun things. I'll definitely have some really cool videos coming out in the next few weeks that are, I would say, like my favorite types of videos, where you get to have your newborn and it's just all so sweet and new and exciting. So definitely hit subscribe if you have not, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. I'm going to end this with a bump shot.